It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. You're about to walk into mayhem. Wednesday Night Mayhem on YouTube and StreamYard.com is now on the air. What's up, everybody? How you living on this Thanksgiving Eve? It's Gil MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyo and Michael Bullock. Gentlemen, you know the deal. It is AEW Dynamite. We got NXT 2.0, and we're going to be doing it large as this is it, guys. So we're gonna be doing it Turkey Day the ravishing way, a la 1989 Survivor Series style with Ravishing Rick Rude and the Rudes Brood. As if I remember correctly, that was their team name going into that Survivor Series that year. So you know the routine. We start out with NXT, followed by AEW, and then from there we call it a night. So with that said, let's start it off with NXT 2.0 last night, and here's how it broke down. So we started it off um, with a non-title match. The NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa versus Grayson Waller. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout was Tommaso Ciampa in 13 minutes and 29 seconds. I gotta say, this was a damn good match. Probably better than we've ever had in NXT. Ever since this new 2.0 format, we've been a little bit on NXT for some of the matches, anything else. They really nailed it with this one. This was a great match. 3.5 stars for me. The pacing was good. The action was great. And Ciampa winning, never in doubt. I don't think there's any doubt in our mind that he was going to win it, but he did. Great match. And I mean, holy cow. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, perfect way to start off this episode of NXT 2.0. I know we've been slamming the show for a while, but man, when they get it right, they get it right, and they got this one correct.
Yeah, they sure did. And yep, and speaking of getting it right, you got it right as well, MF. The Rude Brood, yes, that's where I got the infamous Turkey Day the Ravishing Way shtick that I've had over the last few years. But yeah, and we'll all be doing that tomorrow. But anyways, getting back to this, the heel turn of Grayson Waller has barely had a chance to breathe, and he is already going after the NXT champion. While this story would have been more impactful with a slow build, Waller is so much better as the cocky heel. He looked great working with Ciampa. The whole match worked, from the Blackheart beating him down early to his furious comeback. He looked like he could hang with the champion, even though he was never truly close to victory. The Blackheart is one of the best in the business right now. He is helping build the present and future of NXT with performances like this. I 100% agree with the rating, 3.5 stars. Michael Bullock, what's this? A great match on NXT 2.0? That's not what's supposed to happen here.
Yeah, I mean this wasn't supposed to happen with the way these shows have been lately. But 3.5 stars, I agree with the rating. This was definitely a good way to start off this edition of NXT 2.0. So yeah, Waller definitely gave Tommaso Ciampa a run for his money, but in the end, it was the champ that was all over him. So there's really nothing more for me to add to it. So let's move right along, Fletch.
Yeah, so then the next thing that we had was a women's tag team match, as it was Indy Hartwell versus Persia, I guess, Pertora? I butchered it.
I got you. It's Persia Parada.
Parada. I don't know. Sometimes I butcher the last names. I will not butcher these next names. Casey Canzaro, Caden Carter.
The girls.
If I butcher their names, man, I'm in for it. That's all I'm saying about that. So, but it was Casey and Caden winning the match, 3 minutes and 21 seconds. We don't really need to get into it, but we will get into Well, no, not really. Malik Blade versus Santos Escobar. Of course, Santos Escobar wins the match in 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Then after that, we had ourselves a non-title women's match. The NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose versus Cora Jade, and the winner of the bout in 4 minutes and 2 seconds, in the immortal words of Anthony Florio, what's this? Cora Jade wins the match thanks to a little help. I believe it was a little help from Kaylee Ray. And guys, unfortunately, bad news for all you Zoe Stark fans. Zoe Stark physically unable to go. She will not be able to go for the War Games match for the women. However, we have our fourth member, Kaylee freaking Ray. I guess it's what, the Queen of Screams is what you call her, Anthony Florio?
The scary Queen of Scots.
The scary Queen of Scots now becomes the fourth member of that team. So now the team's set. It is Io Shirai, Cora Jade, Kaylee freaking Ray, and of course the team captain, former NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez. Oh my God, Anthony Florio, Cora Jade, biggest win of her career, maybe championship committee moment?
It would appear to be that way. I mean, Cora Jade did pin Mandy Rose, and I'm like, what? Well, let's be realistic. I'm going to channel my inner heel Jesse Ventura here. Cora Jade did not win that match. Kaylee Ray did. She's the one who really beat Mandy Rose. Cora Jade just benefited from it. That was an atrocity. Kaylee Ray, a young lady who, when she was a heel, let me tell you, I had a thing for that one because I saw beauty, elegance, class, everything I look for in a woman. And now she's gone from that to, what is she going to be? An angry psycho girl now? Is that what we're going to see out of this?
I think she's going to be more of a tweener, Florio. I don't think she could go either way. She could be a face, but she could also be a heel. I think what we got here is basically her being a tweener more than anything else.
Yep, but when I meant the heel Jesse thing, I meant when it came to how the match went down, I would have said, this is an atrocity. What the heck just happened here? And Bullock would have said, well, Florio, your girl just got beat. Yeah, she sure did.
And I'm sure with your heel persona, you would have said, that's not a championship committee moment because Kaylee Ray helped her.
In a way, Bullock is right on that. And
I could definitely see you throwing that in our faces with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it wasn't a clean, decisive win. It was she just benefited from a distraction. That's all there was.
Or I could see you say she should take that winner's purse and give half of it to Kaylee Ray.
Yes, when she gets to the pay window, a la Dusty.
Yeah.
But anyways, the match, 2 stars. But now I got to throw in my constructive criticism here. It would have been nice to see more of what Cora Jade can do facing the women's champion. But like NXT 2.0 always does, NXT 2.0 rushed through that to get to the point. Jade gets another upset win after getting beat down, this time thanks to Kaylee Ray. The champion should not be losing short matches like this. However, Mandy Rose at least is a veteran that can sell her dominance in spite of losses. The women's War Games match is stacked, and it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it. Kaylee Ray, Io Shirai, or even Cora Jade could walk out of that match the clear next challenger, much as Raquel Gonzalez did it last year at War Games, and we know what happened then. Raquel Gonzalez went on to take over Stand and Deliver WrestleMania week, ended the over 300-day run of Io Shirai as champion, and she had a very lengthy run of her own before Mandy dethroned her thanks to Dakota Kai. So, Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai versus Io Shirai, Cora Jade, Kaylee Ray. Man, this is going to be one hell of it, and Raquel Gonzalez, and that's going to be a hell of a War Games match. I mean, and even the men's that came together at the end of the night, even that got stacked as well. And and I know we'll address that, but for right now, it's a 2-star match, but nonetheless, Michael Bullock, Cora Jade with the biggest win of her young career. I don't know if it's going to lead to an even bigger win. I highly doubt it, but how about that women's War Games match though, Bullock? I mean, this has potential. This really has potential, despite NXT 2.0 being a show lately.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you were right about that. I mean, that could be something really good, but Raquel's team is definitely looking really good here. So Toxic Attraction and Dakota Kai are definitely going to have their work cut out for them. Yeah, 2 stars for me. And as far as I'm concerned, this is not just a heel, but this is just my honest opinion. This is not a championship committee moment as far as I'm concerned, because she didn't win this one cleanly. If she had won it cleanly, then I would have said it. But in this case, I think you're right, Florio. I think, to me, whoever comes out of War Games, especially on Raquel's side, I think could be the next challenger. It's not going to be Raquel Gonzalez. It could be either Cora Jade, could be Io Shirai, or it could be Kaylee Ray. Although, in my honest opinion, I mean, with the way Kaylee Ray's been stalking the women's championship, I would not be surprised if she gets the first shot at Mandy Rose. So we'll wait and see on that. So there's really nothing more to say. 2 stars is my rating. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, so then the next thing that we do have, then after that, we do move on with more action, guys. Then we had Ivy Nile. She went up against uh, Yelusa Leon, and Ivy Nile wins the match, 2 minutes and 44 seconds. We're not gonna really get into that one. Then after that, we got the Grizzly Young Veterans. They went up against Josh Briggs and Brooks Jansen. And we had an upset. Briggs and Jansen wins the match in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Michael Bullock, the Grizzled Young Veterans, eat a loss on this night. What?
Yeah, this is. I don't think any of us could have seen this one coming. And I think because of that, I'm going to give it about another 2-star rating. I mean, I thought this was going to be an easy win for the Grizzled Young Vets, but I'm going to say it to you, Fletch. Maybe the Grizzled Young Veterans took this team lightly, and look what happened. So that's just how I feel about it. So 2 stars is my rating. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, 2-star ratings. Really nothing more to add. And now we go on to Anthony Foyle.
2 stars. Once again, NXT should have made a major match more competitive. Instead, Grizzled Young Veterans got squashed by a rookie team. The story is supposed to be that they were too distracted with schemes to wrestle, but that only takes away from the rookies turning around their luck with a win. Briggs and Jensen lost big to Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner, but they defeated GYV. It seems the hierarchy is materializing in the tag team division. Gibson and Drake deserve better than being at the bottom. So, 2 stars, but I know some big tag team contender match just got made for next week.
Yes, it did, and we'll get it. Well, we'll get into that next week. on the show. All right, guys. So we do lead off with the main event triple threat match for the North American title. The champion Carmelo Hayes going up against Johnny Gargano and Pete Dunne. Carmelo Hayes wins the match in 11 minutes and 29 seconds, but after the match was over, all hell broke loose. After that, Mello and D'Angelo started to go at it. Grayson Waller and LA Knight got involved in this. Tommaso Ciampa came out to help his buddy Johnny Gargano. So you're thinking DIY? Could this be a DIY return? And then Braun Breaker comes out, and boys, the two words were uttered.
War Games!
NXT Originals versus NXT 2.0. War Games is going down. Oh my flippin' God. What a match. Holy hell is all I can say. This is going to be nuts. The main event was excellent. 3.5-star match. No big surprise on who won, but oh my word. Think about this War Games. Think about this match. This 2021 men's War Games match it's gonna be one for the ages. That's all I'm just saying. It's gonna be one for the ages. I mean, think about this. Team NXT Originals. Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, DIY, Pete Dunne, and LA Knight versus NXT 2.0. Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Tony D'Angelo, and Grayson Waller. Anthony Florio. Obviously, my money's on the Originals. You go with DIY, Pete Dunne, and LA Knight, because think about this. Ciampa is a veteran of War Games. Dunne is a veteran of War Games. For LA Knight and for Johnny Gargano, this is their first time ever in War Games.
No, I think Gargano's been in. No, I think Gargano's been in there before.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty certain he was.
I don't remember him being in War Games.
Well, I'll look into it, but I'm almost certain that Johnny Wrestling has been in a War Games match. So but man, well, let me see. But anyways, no, actually, MF, you are correct. You are correct. This is his first. I thought he was in one of these matches before, but all right. Yep, and his Twitter confirmed it. There's one match that's avoided me in my entire NXT career, but this year it's finally time. War Games. Yeah, so you're right. MF, I stand corrected. You're right. Johnny Gargano has never been in a War Games match. This is his first, so you're right. But as far as the match is concerned, this was the fight of the night for me. 3 3/4 to 4 stars. This was a fun, chaotic main event. But even despite the high rating, I believe these three have absolutely better in them. The finish, it was rushed. It felt rushed to the finish so that NXT could get in the War Games announcement. A better match will come when not as many people have to be involved anymore. It is the old school versus new school War Games match that NXT started building in the last couple weeks. It was rushed, but the end result is a positive. This is a combustible match with a lot of moving pieces and a ton of talent. It should especially be fun to see what the new NXT stars can do when they step into that War Games cage for the first time. This is their shine to truly make a name for themselves. So the match was 3 3/4 to 4. This was the fight of the night for me, and I'm not at all surprised because I knew these three were going to deliver. But I think it could have been even better than what we got, only because of the rushed finish. But other than that, fantastic match. War Games, whoa. a little DIY reunion. I don't know if it's going to be. I don't think it's going to lead to a full one. I mean, we would all mark out because DIY. We all remember how fun they were when they were a tag team, former NXT tag team champions. That legendary 5-star classic they had with FTR, the Revival, at War Games Toronto in 2016 before the Survivor Series that year, which Mr. Danilo Fibio was the referee of, oh, by the way. So, but all kidding aside, I mean, DIY back together, Pete Dunne, a veteran of the War Games match, and LA Knight, the former Eli Drake of Impact Wrestling, former World Heavyweight Champion down there. And his first War Games, I mean, wow, I can't wait to see what he does. And squaring off against the Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, the North American champion, Tony D'Angelo, Grayson Waller. Just like with the women's, this one has potential. And we've been crapping on this show, and I know we're gonna crap on it again in just a moment, but still, I mean, they're actually putting in the effort for this War Games. I mean, the 2 War Games matches. We're also gonna see Duke Hudson and Cameron Grimes in a hair versus hair match.
Yep.
That actually could work. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath, but we'll see. So they might have a good match in them, but we'll see. But 3 3/4 to 4, and Michael Bullock. I mean, I know it's not the same without Mr. Regal, but we've got 2 War Games matches. And how about the one on the men's side? DIY reuniting along with Pete Dunne and LA Knight to take on Hayes, D'Angelo, Waller, and Breaker. That match is going to be all kinds of fun, and that, my friend, is a fact of life. Yeah.
Yeah. 3.5 to 3 3/4 is my rating for this. I mean, I thought it was a good, solid main event here, and yeah, this War Games is going to be something with the original NXT boys against the 2.0 guys. So yeah, they're really putting forth the effort here. So there's really nothing more for me to say except Fletch, let's go to our overall review. And well, unfortunately, it was another meh show.
Yep. Anthony Florio, it's all yours. You lead off.
Two good. I mean, it was bookended by two great matches. The stuff in between left a bit to be desired. Newsworthiness, though, the usual 5.5 for this. But, I actually am looking forward to the War Games because, hello, it's War Games, for goodness sakes. And both of those War Games matches have potential to be classics based on the talent involved in both. And the hair versus hair match, could be, a sleeper fight of the night right there. So we'll have to wait and see. But typical formula. I mean, we start with a great match. We end with a great match. If only we can get some better matches in between. Then we can start taking this seriously. But I am taking War Games seriously, though. Absolutely. I'll be tuning into that. You better believe it. So there isn't much more to say on this. The traditional 5.5 or so. A little better, but Michael Bullock, it is beyond a work in progress. I mean, same formula. Start with a great match, end with a great match. Give us something better in between instead of these like 50 squash matches that we get a week. And it feels like 50, even though it's a lot less than that. But anywho, 5.5. So Michael Bullock, what says you, Mr. NXT?
Don't forget another thing that we like. Yeah, right. This typical campy comedy, bull funky nonsense.
I mean, over the top characters.
Yeah, especially one over the top character. I really can't stand Florio, and you know where I'm going with this.
You feel the same way. The way you feel about this guy is the same way I feel about another. You can't stand Joe Gacy the same way I can't stand Andre Chase.
Yeah, I can't stand both of them, especially Joe Gacy, because okay, here's the thing: why on earth is this guy getting an NXT Cruiserweight title shot? Somebody freaking explain to me how this guy is getting a shot at it. How is this goofball getting? Somebody explain it to me.
I believe Malcolm Bivens put in a weight waiver because he is technically over the weight limit.
Yeah, he actually basically Joe Gacy called for the shot, but Malcolm Bivens is like, well, you better get down to 205 or this ain't happening. So he's gonna have to lose a lot. He's gonna have to lose a few lbs to the 205 level, because remember, cruiserweight title 205 and under. He's got to get under 205 in order to fight for the title. So I think Malcolm Bivens is believing is almost certain he's not going to reach 205.
Yeah, I mean, do any of you really think he's going to get to that limit?
I could actually see it, Bullock. Yeah, and
Uh,
as a matter of fact, I'm going to go one further. If he gets to the 205 level, if he gets to 205 and fights for the title, I think we're looking at the next cruiserweight champion of the world.
oh, tell me you did not just say that.
Yeah, I did.
Where?
I know. Shoot me.
Oh boy.
You could kick my rear end after Thanksgiving for that one. The next time you see me.
Oh, MF,
Where?
you just got yourself. You know what just happened.
I know.
You know what's coming?
I know.
Yep.
Oh no.
And both. Yeah, you got the Bullock. I can't take it face, and I got a little sidetracked. I'll look back at the archive later, but whatever that open mouth insert foot moment MF just had, well, MF, you just earned yourself a trip to Tombstone City, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, this guy as our NXT Cruiserweight champion. Yeah, that's gonna put some butts in the seats. The toilet
seats.
Hey-o. And you really think he's? I don't think he's gonna get to that weight limit. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. So
I'm with you. I'm with you guys. I don't think he'll make it to the 205, but I'm just saying,
Yeah. So anywho, a 5 out of 10 for me. This is. I really don't know what else is there to say about this. I mean, yeah, you have a good match to start and then a good match to end.
Yeah.
I mean, we need some better matches instead of these typical squash matches or this campy comedy nonsense that we get here. It's beyond the point of go away, for gosh sakes.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing more to say. I mean, you guys have high hopes for NXT War Games. The old adage is, I'll believe it when I see it. Especially with the way NXT 2.0 has been lately. So
yeah,
that's just my honest opinion.
No, honest opinion, granted, but remember, we were having lackluster NXT 2.0s, but Halloween Havoc absolutely delivered. I mean, I got a feeling that's going to happen again. Where
I hope so too.
We don't have, and I'll openly admit, NXT 2.0s have not been that great. And again, 5 out of 10, I agree with you guys on that. But I'm more optimistic because I feel like their pay-per-view events are better. And they actually do step up when it comes to pay-per-views. So I expect those War Game matches to be amazing. Nothing more to add. So we'll start off with AEW Dynamite. And, well, the one thing that has been on the water cooler tonight, CM Punk and Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF, promo battle between the two of them. They went at it. There was some fireworks. There was some bars. And then CM Punk literally buries MJF, basically calling him literally a wannabe Miz. That's all he is. A lesser known Miz is what he called him. Oh! That was devastating. Bill McConnell showed me the clip, guys. We were working tonight at our job, and he showed me the clip. We both our jaws hit the floor when CM Punk ripped that with that shot. We were like, oh my God. No freaking way. That was savagery at its finest. CM Punk, MJF, God. Well, the battle lines are drawn, folks. God damn, this is going to be a hell of a match when this goes down. Whenever the day that does happen. Anthony Florio, I know you wanted to get into this. You were bouncing off the walls like freaking Tigger over this segment.
You damn right I was.
Oh my God. I didn't even get to see the whole thing. I haven't seen the whole thing. I just saw one part of it and I literally fell over.
You want the detailed version or do you want the Cliff Notes version, MF?
More or less, give me the Cliff Notes. I don't want no detailed version. That'll be all night.
Okay. All right. But anywho, there was more. MJF brought up to CM Punk. He called him PG Punk. All right. Because, WWE and the whole 9 yards. And he went on to say about CM Punk saying that he would come out and he's like, I'm surprised. It sounds to me like you've been coming out here and preaching hustle, loyalty, and respect. Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. And then he did the, well, you can see me and I can see through you. And then he talked about him being the number 2 guy behind the You Can't See Me man and the King of Kings. And then, yeah, Punk obviously with the Miz line, the less famous Miz, obviously. And then CM Punk also went on to say, while I was selling out Madison Square Garden, you were marking out for Rosie O'Donnell. Oh my goodness gracious. And
man, double ouch.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, I just ate this thing up, man. There's got to be a clip of it somewhere. Hopefully they have the segment in full on YouTube or something, and I got to send it to MF so we can see the whole thing. Other than that Miz shot, but and then Punk with pretty much the knockout blow, saying the only way you'll be a number 1 guy is if we wait around long enough for Tony Khan to have a daughter that you can marry. Yeah. Knockout.
Oh.
Pipe bomb. Yeah. Okay. But anyways, wow. I said it in the messenger and I'm just going to say it right here. They got 20 minutes, all right? CM Punk came out, for his match against QT Marshall, but MJF came right out, and now I know we like to bypass promo. I know MF likes to bypass the promo segments on the show. That's fine, it's what he does. But we should address certain promo segments if they need to be addressed, and this is one that most certainly needed to be addressed. Why? Because I said it in the messenger to you guys, and I'm going to say it to all of you friends out there watching us right now. To me, that was, without question, the greatest in-ring segment in the short history of AEW. Period. End of statement, end of quotation on that. Now, obviously the segment of the night. Take 2 of the most engaging talkers in recent wrestling history, give them microphones, and let them captivate for 20 minutes. It was a recipe that worked extremely well here in this opening segment, thanks to two polar opposite performers. Every time MJF thought he had a zinger to wound Punk with, the babyface answered with something equally or more cutting. It was a great back and forth promo battle. The minute it threatened to turn violent, MJF bailed. Conveniently enough, thanks to the lack of backup, something Punk criticized him for over the course of the promo battle. Like MF said, their eventual match is going to be absolute money, and segments like these are the reason. An absolutely fire way to kick off this show, and the best promo we have heard out of Punk thus far in his AEW run, and to me, for my money, the greatest in-ring promo segment in the short 2.5+ year history of AEW. If there's a clip out there, you got to go out of your way to see this, because this was insane. So there isn't much more to say. Michael Bullock, I mean, say what you want about MJF. Yes, he's a first-class creep. We all know that, and the whole 9 yards. But he backs it up on the mic. CM Punk backed it up. And that, to me, like I said in the messenger, greatest in-ring segment in AEW history. Wow.
Man, oh man, what a segment that was to start it off. I mean, my goodness, the back and forth was just awesome, but MJF, do you know where you were tonight? You were in Chicago, and you were going toe-to-toe with CM Punk in a verbal battle. I mean, granted, I'll give him credit, he was very good too, but you're dealing with a man that is the master of the pipe bomb. And yeah, he literally, and I said it in the messenger, guys. Yeah, I said in the wrestling forum messenger. When I said MJF is all talk but no game, but CM Punk is all talk and all game because this guy can back it up in the ring. And while MJF needs the help of FTR, Wardlow, and Shawn Spears, so. And I basically said CM Punk took that bitch MJF to school and made him look like a grade A dick. Because that's what he did. I mean, my goodness. I mean, MJF had a chance to back it up, but he decided well, let's just say Fletch, he decided to take a powder and said, no, 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 I'm not going to do it on your terms. I'm doing it on my terms. So, but man, oh man, this was just freaking awesome. And the crowd in Chicago, they really were really into this, and basically saying that he was basically less attractive than the Miz. I'm like, holy smokes, he really went to town on MJF. I mean, my goodness gracious. And then basically called that like a needle. Well, you know what I mean. So
You
there's
don't need
really
to go
not the more.
there. I think Flair just sending me the clips, so I know that must have been the full clip. So, oh my
Yeah,
God, I can't wait to hear it. But
yeah. When you hear this, Fletch, your jaw's gonna drop to the floor with some of the things that were said.
that's fine,
And
man.
yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. Let's go and talk about the match that CM Punk had with another guy. Shall I say, is a classless piece of you know what.
Yeah, it was CM Punk versus QT Marshall. 10 minutes and 51 seconds. CM Punk wins at home. So, Flair, what's yours?
Yeah, outcome never in doubt. The match was solid, if unspectacular, but continued CM Punk's win streak in AEW. He's now 7-0. QT Marshall is great at inciting a reaction, which we saw with his antics here. The crowd got even more behind Punk and fueled him to victory. It was interesting to hear the commentary team on more than one occasion sum up Punk's run thus far with, yeah, but he's undefeated. It will be interesting to see if it becomes part of the narrative that Punk has lost a step. Might we be seeing the tale of old man Punk playing out before our very eyes? And if so, how will MJF play into it? Might he deal him his first loss in AEW? We'll see. I'll give it a solid 3 stars for the effort. Like I said, solid but unspectacular. Not even the great CM Punk could get a passable match out of QT Marshall. So, but it was fine for what it was. So not much for me to say. Michael Bullock, I think the reason why maybe this match wasn't as good because of the fact that CM Punk was coming off that 20+ minute segment with MJF.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand that because he was coming off a damn good segment with MJF here, and I don't know about you, Florio, but QT Marshall, I mean, you could say he's just like MJF. I mean, the only way QT Marshall can win his matches when he has his cronies, Camarado and Solo. Well, they tried to stick their nose in it. Well, they tried it once, and they tried it a second time, and the referee caught him and basically gave him the old heave-ho. So, yeah, so this was a fine match. So I'll give it 3 stars, but I'm gonna cut CM Punk some slack here because he did come off of a very good, very long promo segment here. I mean, yeah, there's really nothing more to say on it. So Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, then we had ourselves, unfortunately, guys, something that I guess we could say doesn't happen very often here in AEW, but we actually had a cutout. The Gun Club went up against Bear Country. Gun Club wins the match in less than 2 minutes, 1 minute and 58 seconds. Then it led to the TBS title tournament matchup. Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter. Thunder Rosa advances, winning the match in 10 minutes and 33 seconds. I believe it goes to Anthony Florio. So Florio, Thunder Rosa moves on in the tournament.
Again, I say no surprise with the outcome, but this was a solid match here. What was that time again?
10:44.
10:44. 3 1/4 to 3.5 stars. Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter wrestled a hell of a match that had the fans in Chicago splitting their allegiances between the two competitors. While the finish was necessary to create the dissension we saw after the bell, it was the only negative of the entire bout as the disjointedness of it threatened the overall quality. The aforementioned dissension is interesting in that it sets Hayter up to be a potential challenger to Baker down the line. The British-born competitor has grown and evolved as a wrestler every time she has been in the ring, culminating with the performance we saw here tonight. If she can continue winning fans over based on the in-ring intensity she brings to her performances, Jamie Hayter may be the best option to dethrone Dr. Britt Baker as AEW Women's World Champion. As history tells us, sometimes it is the performer you least expect that comes out of nowhere to leave a lasting impression. 3 1/4, 3.5 stars. So one of the top fights of the night. So you know what? I'm going to go as far as to call it the sleeper fight of the night. Because, I mean, there is no doubt about Rosa. We know how great Rosa is. I mean, it took me a while to figure it out because MF knows her better than anybody. He's followed her, since day one. But Bullock and I, on the other hand, didn't really see much of her before she, debuted here. But from what I've seen, it's no secret why. It's no wonder why she is one of the best women's wrestlers in the world today. And performances like that is one of the many reasons why. But she's got an uphill battle next. And Michael Bullock, as I give it to you, that uphill battle happens to be, oh boy, Jade Cargill, who I consider the odds-on favorite to win this whole thing. Sorry to say.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not going to be easy for Jade Cargill. I mean, Thunder Rosa will definitely give her some fits here. So, 3 1/4 stars is my rating on this. I mean, yeah, I mean, you pretty much said everything you said, Florio. So, Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, I mean, three and a half. I mean, it was a solid match. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the next matchup because it's going to get very interesting. Uh, but now we move on to the next match of the evening, as it was Brian Danielson going up against Cole Cabana. Brian Danielson wins the match in 5 minutes and 4 seconds. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Uh, a fun short match for what it was. I'll give this about maybe 2.25 stars here. I mean, obviously you want to continue to build Daniel Bryan or Brian Danielson as this big time heel, but afterwards, I mean, he was confronted by Adam Hangman Page, the AEW World Champion, and basically said, "How about I put my title on the line tonight?" But Brian Danielson said, "Not on my terms, but it's going to happen somewhere down the line." So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to wait for his moment. This is the classic heel move. You don't control the narrative. I control the narrative. And for Brian Danielson, I like what Hangman Page did. He called out the bluff. He wanted to see if Danielson was gonna bite on the bait, and Danielson did not. Now, Danielson's out could be, oh, but this was a grueling match. I just had a war with Cole Cabana, blah, 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 and I'm not ready for tonight. Well, guess what? The AEW World Champion, Adam Hangman Page, he's ready anytime, any place, anywhere. As you can tell, the Cowboy is going to be a fighting champion, and I got to admit, this is awesome. This is great because if he's going to be a fighting champion, this is going to be a successful reign for the reigning champion. So I like what they're doing. I like the body of work. You just gotta, it's either now or never. Buck up or man. You gotta man up at some point. So I don't know what to say. So I thought it was fine. It was a fun little sprint. And yeah, it's up to you. Florio, it's yours.
2.5 stars for me. Heel Brian Danielson is the best. He was unabashedly joyful as he punished Colt Cabana before defeating him in a decisive, undisputed fashion. He bullied Cabana, then talked a big game, but backed down when Hangman Adam Page offered to fight him for the second week in a row. Like any great heel, he backed off when faced with a fight he didn't have the upper hand in. And Michael Bullock, he brought back one of our favorite words, well, my favorite word anyway, fickle. Remember that?
Fickle!
Fickle. Yes.
Yeah, I just wish he could also bring back that impotent, change it, shame.
Shame. Yes, sir. The fun Bullock and I had with the new Daniel Bryan character a couple years ago. Yeah. But bringing back Fickle after using it so extensively during his run as the Planet's champion in WWE was great and absolutely fit the situation given how quickly the fans turned on him when he began showing the slightest bit of attitude. Brian Danielson's work as a heel has been nothing short of extraordinary. He will make the perfect first opponent for a guy in Hangman Adam Page that is still very early in his world title reign and looking to define what that run is going to look like. The match or matches will be awesome, and Danielson will do everything in his power to solidify Hangman as the star of the company. Whether Tony Khan can resist the urge to put the title on the American Dragon as his heel persona evolves is the real question. So 2.5 stars for the match, but all I can say, guys, is batten down the hatches. And I've got 3 possible dates that I could see this going down. The first date that comes to my mind right away, December 15th. Winter is coming. Do I even need to remind you about what happened last year at Winter is Coming?
Mm.
Sting, which made Tony Schiavone lose his mind, and of course the screw job, Kenny Omega and Don Callis, when they literally screwed Jon Moxley out of the AEW World Title. Another date that comes to mind, 2 weeks after that, December 29th, the final AEW Dynamite of 2021 and the final AEW Dynamite on TNT at the Daly's place in Jacksonville. Or do they really live dangerously and hold it off until the very first Dynamite on TBS, January 5th of 22, at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey? We're going to have to wait and find out. But I believe, gentlemen, it'll be one of those 3 dates because I have no clue when the next pay-per-view is going to be. It's obviously going to be next year, obviously. But anyways, 2.5 stars. And all I can say is whenever this match goes down, and I believe it's going to be one of those 3 dates I just mentioned, I'm fully expecting at least in excess of 4.5 to 5. Am I right on that?
I agree with that, yes.
So with that said, let's move on.
All right, and we do leave us with the main event of the evening. It was an 8-man tag team match. It was FTR, Andrade El Idolo, and Malachi Black. They went up against the Death Triangle, Pac, Rey Fenix, and Penta El Zero Miedo. And they also went up with and their partner, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout, 15 minutes, 32 seconds, the heel team, Malachi Black, Andrade El Idolo, and FTR. Wow. Well, the heels get over at the end of Dynamite tonight. Well, whoever would have thought that was going to be the outcome? Amazing outcome. I got. There's really nothing more to say. This was an amazing matchup, solid main event. Easily 3.5 to 3.75. You could even make an argument for 4. As the match went 15 minutes and 32 seconds. So Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Fight of the night, no doubt about it. I'm not at all surprised because of the talent involved. I'm going to pull the trigger and give it 4 stars. All AEW had to do with this one was let the 8 men involved go to the ring and tear it up. That is exactly what happened. There was no feeling out process or attempt at chain wrestling. This was a balls to the wall, high energy, multi-man tag team match that had the fans on the edge of their seats throughout. Or in one instance, throwing a weightlifting belt back into the ring. The heels winning was the right call, especially as Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo recover from a puzzling loss at Full Gear. Black spraying mist in the eyes of Pac essentially sets them up for a match at some point in the near future, and fans should absolutely be excited about the prospects of that showdown based on the talent involved. One thing this match did really well was not put Cody Rhodes in a position to have the overwhelmingly negative reaction that graded him adversely affect the quality of the match. He was used sparingly, entering and exiting in bursts. It was absolutely the right call as fans continue to reject the character, even as the performer himself refuses to turn heel, a la John Cena. That decision will and should be revisited as things continue to snowball. But the one other thing that really put this over the top was that interaction with our 4 horsemen brethren, the former 4 horsemen brethren, the enforcer Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. I marked when I saw that. So, of course, because hello, 4 horsemen, you know me and all of us. So there is no ifs, ands, or buts about this one. This was the fight of the night. Solid 4 stars. And there isn't much more to say. Michael Bullock, nothing left to say except, wow, what a match. Fight of the night.
Yeah, what a match this was. This was definitely a 4-star match as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the interaction between these teams was just spot on. And yeah, I mean, you guys pretty much said everything on it. So let's get to overall thoughts on this edition of Dynamite.
Florio, you start.
All right. Another amazing edition of another very good show here tonight. I'm going to give this between, I would probably go maybe 7.5, teetering on 8 out of 10 for this. I'm leaning more towards the 7.5, but because this was a very good show here tonight. We had some very good matches. Of course, the what stole the show tonight, obviously, was the segment with MJF and CM Punk. Go out of your way to see it. I can't stop saying it enough because it was that damn good. You got to go out of your way to see it. It was unbelievable. And main event stole the damn show as far as the matches were concerned. Hayter and Rosa, pleasant surprise. I don't really know much about Hayter. I mean, I thought she was gonna. I thought because of her inexperience, I didn't think the match was gonna be any good. But Thunder Rosa obviously carried her to a more than passable match. Pleasant surprise there. All the matches were solid to good. We only had one dud match. That was that Gun Club in Bear Country. Didn't belong on the show. That's the match that belongs on Dark or Elevation, in all honesty. But other than that, though, great show, great crowd, great atmosphere. And what can I say except the main event, obviously, and, of course, the segment. That's all I'm going to say. Go out of your way to see it. 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for me. Michael Bullock. Once again, AEW Dynamite delivers another more than adequate and quality show tonight.
Yeah, this was another really good show. A 7.5 to 8 for me as well. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to add to it. So let's put a bow on this, Fletch.
Yeah, it is about 7.5 for me. No doubt about it. This was an incredible evening. To say the very least. Great evening, great event. That's it, guys. So from all of us here, on the behalf of the Wrestling Forum, Strictly Sports, the family of networks, as we always do, we want to wish you guys out there a happy and a healthy Thanksgiving. We hope you guys have a wonderful evening, spending it with the families as always. I know Michael Bullock will do. I know Anthony Floyer will do. I will do as well. And I know Didi Woodson and Derek Herrera, as always, will do as well. We'll be back here on Friday night for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, SmackDown Live, and Rampage at 11 p.m. Eastern. And then on Saturday, we'll be doing NFL Saturday. We'll have all the action. We have 3 games that we're going to be recapping. The Thanksgiving games, we're going to be recapping that. And then we still got some very good action in the National Football League. So, guys, like we said, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys on Friday. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now. Bye-bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.